Hello everybody, greetings to you all, and you are welcome once again to the Stratford Africa channel. We are here today to launch or introduce a new channel, a new show on the channel. As you all can remember, in our introductory video, we said that this channel was going to be about football, Manchester United and football in general. And from then we've done content on the channel that has been about Manchester United and in and around Manchester United. Really, we haven't really talked about other football clubs and things happening in the football world in general yet. So this show, as we are launching it today, from now onwards, we will be having the All Football Show. This show is named the All Football Show, on which we shall talk about topical stuffs or things that are happening in other clubs and the football world in general. So today's edition is the maiden edition, or the first episode of the All Football Show. And on today's episode, we have a lot of things lined up to be discussed. So let's just go through the things that we'll be discussing in this show, one after the other. The first topic we'll be looking at today is Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea. Tuchel's Chelsea. How has life been so far for Thomas Tuchel in Chelsea? After that, we will dive straight into Jose Mourinho. His team, that is Spurs, bottled a 2-0 lead in the Europa League and got knocked out. So we'll be looking deep into that and see whether Jose Mourinho is done at the top of football management. Does he still really have something to offer at the top? Is he still a very top manager who can take teams and win trophies, as we know? And then from there, you take a little bit look into the UCL draw. The UEFA Champions League draw and matters arising from it. And then we shall also look at the last element in this show will be about Liverpool's title defense. How has it been so far for them? Is it the worst title defense ever in the Premier League's history? There have been questions like that trending on Twitter and on social media. We shall look into that one too. Before we move straight into the various topics, I would like to urge you all to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it to your friends and family. As we said in our other video, we are still urging you to invite more people into the community so that we can have a very nice community and have fun on here. It's all about opinion sharing. I am not the one who knows more than anybody. I'm just sharing my opinion and giving other people the platform to also come on and just comment so that we can discuss and make fun. It is the game we love best. So let's talk about it and feel free to express our views. So that being said, let's move straight into the first topic for today's show, which is Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. How has life been for Thomas Tuchel in Chelsea? The man has come in and he seems to be doing well. It is early days yet though, but there are good signs in his early spell. I think he has come in and he has changed the team shape. He has changed the team shape to make them more solid. He has solidified their back and changed the shape to a 3-back with the wing backs galloping forward and back. Yes, and it has really helped the Chelsea team in general, because there are some players in the team, in my opinion, who are very familiar with that system. Because if you all can remember, they won the league under Antonio Conte playing that particular system. And the spine of that squad, I think, is still around in Chelsea. The likes of Kante, Caesar, this guy, Alonso, Rudiger, they were all around when Conte was playing that system. So they are very familiar to that system. I think that's why they have been able to adapt very early and it is paying dividends for them. But that being said, I think early on when he came, in his first 2 or 3 games, I didn't like what I was seeing. I was just seeing a very solidified, more defensive outfit. They had a lot of the ball. That's why they played a couple of 0-0 draws and 1-0 wins here and there. They had a lot of the ball. They were passing it around, but there was no purpose in the passing. Plenty possession, but no chances or shots on target to show for the possession. So I wasn't really impressed. I was even telling one of my Chelsea friends, one of my friends who's a Chelsea fan, that so far I don't like what I see from their team. It is too rigid. In my opinion, that's why I saw the team was too rigid in the start. But as time goes on, I've seen that there has been changes in their approach. Players are now beginning to understand their various roles in the system. So if they play now, you can see some amount of fluidity being built in their play. Some amount of fluidity is beginning to show in their play. And then he has also been able to touch into the players and lift their confidence levels. Players like Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech all were not playing well under Lampard. But now all of them seem to be putting up improved performances in their games. So that shows that their confidence level are gradually coming back. And now that they are beginning to understand their various roles and what is expected of them in that system, things are beginning to get a little bit more exciting for them. That is very, very interesting there. But one problem they have right now is that they lack finishing. They don't take their chances. They are very wasteful in front of goal. In the few days, the few past weeks I've watched them, especially in the Champions League and their other league games. Now the fluidity is coming. The chances are beginning to come, but they are not taking the chances. They are not taking the chances well enough. So that being said, I think Thomas Tuchel is really doing well at Chelsea. He's building something for the future. You can see the progress and what he's trying to do, and that is very, very worrying for me. Somebody like me, someone like a rival fan like me, I don't like what I see at Chelsea. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. If they manage to find a solution to that finishing issue and they keep improving and improving, now they cannot take their chances. There's fire in the building. They could worry us in the league. Even though it's still early days yet, but that's my observation in general about Thomas Tuchel and his reign in Chelsea so far. And then let's move on and talk a little bit about their game against Atletico Madrid. In that game, Chelsea really dominated that game from the first leg and the second leg. Both the two legs, Chelsea dominated that game, and they really deserved to win that game. Even though in the second leg, Atletico Madrid should have had at least one penalty, but the official made that mistake and didn't award that penalty. But that being said, Chelsea deserved to qualify and they deserve their place in the next round of the competition. So I think for now that is my observations about Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea and what he has done so far there. So now let's move straight into our next topic. Is Jose Mourinho done at the top level? This question has been trending on Twitter and people have been having this debate ever since he got sacked at Manchester United. And during the time Mourinho was sacked at United, I didn't agree with this view. I really had issues with it because in my personal view, I thought he was treated unfairly by Manchester United, because I thought he still had something in him to offer the game, and that United didn't give him the chance to win us trophies. But moving on, as he got the Spurs job, I really expected things to happen for him at Spurs, because in my opinion that Tottenham Hotspur squad was tailor-made for him, because players like Harry Kane, Son, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, they were not young players anymore. They were players who were almost hitting their peak and then starting to decline. So at that level, they were not kids who would give you inconsistent performances here and there. So I thought with the right amount of motivation, they could go in and win stuff. And Mourinho being touted around as the Syria winner, the short-time manager who wins you things, I was really scared. I thought things could happen there for him, but unfortunately, things are not going well at all for him there. And this, in my opinion, is down to two things. The game seemed to have evolved and moved on from Mourinho's ways. And instead of Mourinho to also adapt his ways and move, he has refused and has stuck to his old management principles and style. And as the saying goes, change is the only thing that is constant on this earth. If you refuse to change and adapt, you will perish. And I think that is what Mourinho is currently going through. Like, his tactics are not good enough for the game now. There's so many tactical tricks to the game now that if you score one goal and you want to go back and defend and protect that one goal lead, it's not going to help. And with the attacking talent he has in his team, he seems to have locked them all up in a cage. He doesn't give them the freedom to express themselves as they would have want on the field. And then he likes throwing people under the bus. if he loses a game, it is everybody else's fault but his. I heard him say after their loss to Arsenal that they lost because some big players were hiding in the game. And then in that game, Bale didn't play well. So if you do that, the media will massage this and create headlines from it, which is not going to give you a healthy dressing room. And then I'm even hearing reports that after their elimination from the Europa League just a few days ago, that he refused to talk to everybody in the squad. And this time around, that man management style doesn't work. The players now seems a little soft. They are not the Cavallos, the Lampards, the John Terrys. Now they need an arm around them to draw them closer and show them a little bit of soft emotions so that they can play the game and play it well for you. So in my opinion, I am now also beginning to believe in that narrative that Jose Mourinho at the top level is done, because he has refused to adapt his ways and change, and then that is what is killing him in the game. So that being said, I think that is what I will say about Jose Mourinho and what is going on at Tottenham Hotspur with him. So please, if you are watching this video, let me know your thoughts on all of these topics in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video. So moving on, let's take a look at the UCL draw, the UEFA Champions League draw that happened some few days ago. And in that draw, there is some interesting fixtures in there. In my opinion, there's two revenge fixtures in that UCL next round of fixtures. Bayern Munich versus PSG is a revenge fixture. PSG has a chance now to revenge their loss against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final just this past season. And people are already tipping Bayern to qualify, but I don't see it as that it's going to be that simple for them. Because if I can remember very well from their game in the UCL finals, PSG gave them a very good run for their money. If not for the missed chances, PSG would have been around 2 or 3 goals up before Bayern Munich scored their first goal. So that game is going to be a very interesting game, considering the pace PSG have up front and the high line Bayern Munich plays. I can't wait to see what that game has for people in the world of football. And then also the other revenge fixture in the draw is the Liverpool versus Madrid game. I mean, nature has given Mo Salah a chance to take his revenge on Ramos. Whether he'll be able to take it or not, we live to see that. It is just quite unfortunate that both teams right now are not in a very good form. They are all struggling a little bit here and there, but that still promises to be a very fascinating game going forward. And then the next fixture was Dortmund was paired with Manchester City. That one we can only wait and see what will happen in that game. And then the last draw too was Chelsea versus FC Porto. In this draw, a lot of fans were disappointed, especially the rival fans, the fans who didn't want Chelsea or who doesn't want Chelsea to progress in this competition. They were really hoping that Chelsea would be drawn against Bayern Munich or PSG or Liverpool so that they would get eliminated and then they can have their peace of mind. But they didn't get that. They think FC Porto is an easy draw for Chelsea. But I don't think so. We should just all keep our calm and wait until the games are played. Everything can happen in football and Porto can pull a surprise. So that being said, I think that will be all on the UCL draw. So moving on, let's move to our last topic for today's show, which is Liverpool's title defense. We all know the issues and troubles Liverpool are going through this season. So is their title defense the worst compared to David Moyes' title defense and Leicester City's own? There have been that debate on Twitter, and the worst title defense ever has been between David Moyes' Manchester United's title defense in the 2014-2015 season after Sir Alex Ferguson retired, and Leicester City's defense after they won it with Claudio Ranieri. But now I think what has happened to Liverpool have kicked Manchester United out of that conversation. In my opinion, the worst title defense ever debate is now between Liverpool and Leicester City's defense. Because as it stands now, at this stage of their title defense, at this stage of Manchester United's title defense in that season, United had amassed more points than Liverpool have done. United didn't go on and lose 5 games on a bounce, 5 home games on their bounce. That didn't happen under Moise. So in my opinion, all of these things kicks United out of that conversation now, and it's now between Liverpool and Leicester City. We all know that Liverpool's injuries have played a very big role in their worries this season. And that being said, that's what you get when you keep playing one starting 11 for a consecutive two years. Liverpool for the past years have been very lucky with injuries. They have really been very lucky with injuries until this year. And then there's one thing too in football or in life in general. Like when you put square pegs in round holes, it doesn't work. Even if it will work, it will only help you in the short term. But in the long term, you will get exposed. What Liverpool is going through this season is the same thing Manchester City went through last season. You remember when Kompany left the club, they couldn't sign a centre back, and unfortunately for them, Laporte went on a long-term injury, and Stones was not even playing that well. So they were forced to move Fernandinho from the midfield to play at centre back, and then that really gave them a lot of trouble last season. We all know that last season Manchester City's defense were very shaky, and they conceded goals, silly goals in every game, and that is because they moved Fernandinho from midfield to play at centre back. Like what a real centre back will give the team, Fernandinho can't give them that. And now what Fernandinho used to give the team in midfield, the team is now missing that. So now that you find out that when that happens to you, you then be losing 2 things instead of 1. So that's the same thing Liverpool is going through now. Since after Van Dijk's injury, Gomez's injury, Matip's injury, Klopp has been forced to move his 2 midfield pivots in the person of Fabinho and Henderson to go and play at centre back. And because they are not traditional centre backs, they can't give you what a Gomez and a Van Dijk or a Van Dijk and a Matip will give you at the back. And then because they are also not present in the middle, what they used to give the team in the midfield, the team will not get that too. So in that instance, you see that the balance of the team has been thrown off, and then everything from there can happen. And then also, what really surprised me about Liverpool this season is that after their injuries to their centre backs, I really expected to see the old Liverpool club under the old Liverpool team under Klopp. I mean the Liverpool team without Van Dijk. You guys remember that team? They used to score a lot of goals and concede a lot of goals. So their score lines were always a high scoring scoreline, like 4-3, 3-3, stuff like that. I really expected that this season with Liverpool because their back line is not there. So I expected their forward to keep firing and then the opponent will also get some goals. But surprisingly, even the forward line have stopped firing. You realize that a lot of the game they have lost has been 1-0. Like a lot of them has been a 1-0 scoreline against them. So if their forward were scoring enough goals, they wouldn't have been in this much trouble. So that being said, I think that is all I would like to say about Liverpool's title defense. Yes. So once again, in my opinion, it is now in the debate of the worst title defense ever, and it has taken Manchester United's title defense and the David Moyes out of the picture, and that debate is now between Liverpool's defense this season and that of Leicester City's. So let me know in the comment section what you think about that, and then let's move on. So that being said, I think that is all the topics that we'll be discussing today, and then we have come to the end of this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep your suggestions and comments coming through. We are really working and trying to implement all of your suggestions to improve the channel and improve the content on here. So please keep supporting, and we thank you all for your support. Until we meet again, have a nice time. Bye bye.